What if I told you that you probably already know enough to change your life? You know you should exercise. You know you should study. You know you should save money. You know you should start that business, apply for that opportunity, learn that skill, make that phone call, or finally begin that project. But here is the uncomfortable question. If you already know what to do, why haven't you done it? Because knowing is important, but knowing without action changes nothing. Sometimes the difference between the life you have and the life you want is simply this: you have to move. We live in a world overflowing with information. There are books, podcasts, courses, motivational videos, tutorials, and advice everywhere. You can spend 3 hours watching videos about productivity without actually being productive. You can read 10 books about starting a business without selling a single product. You can spend months researching the perfect workout without doing 10 push-ups. There is even something researchers study called the intention action gap. It means that wanting to do something and actually doing it are two different things. That is why your life is not shaped only by what you know. It is shaped by what you repeatedly do. A simple action taken today can be more valuable than a perfect plan that you keep postponing until tomorrow. And this is where many people get stuck. They are waiting until they feel confident, waiting until they have more money, waiting until they have more knowledge, waiting until they have more time, waiting for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment rarely arrives. At some point, planning becomes hiding. At some point, preparation becomes procrastination. And at some point, you have to tell yourself, I may not know exactly how this will turn out, but I'm going to start. Because time will eventually give you an answer. You will either earn the result or learn the lesson. And both can move you forward. Do not become so afraid of failure that you choose not to move at all. Maybe you start and fail. Good. Now you know something you didn't know yesterday. Failure can become a powerful teacher when you examine what went wrong and use that information to improve. Failure is painful when you treat it like the end, but failure becomes useful when you turn it into feedback. Try, fail, analyze, adjust, try again. Maybe the first business doesn't work. Maybe the first interview goes badly. Maybe your first video gets only 17 views. Maybe the first exam doesn't give you the grade you wanted. That does not mean you stop. It means you ask, what did this teach me? Sometimes you have to learn through failure before you earn success. And there is something interesting in physics that gives us a powerful analogy. In physics, work has a specific meaning. A force has to cause displacement, movement from one position to another, for mechanical work to occur. Think about that. You can push mentally all day. You can think. You can plan. You can dream. You can worry. You can prepare. But if there is no movement, your position remains the same. Of course, life is more complicated than a physics equation. But the lesson is powerful. Movement matters. Thinking in the right direction is important. Planning is important. Knowledge is important. But eventually, you need displacement. You need action. You need to move from where you are toward where you want to be, even if that movement is small. So after this video, don't immediately watch another motivational video. Do something. Just one thing. Open the book. Write the first paragraph. Send the application. Make the phone call. Put on your shoes and walk outside. Create the first version. Record the first video. Start the first page. Take one real step. Because 1 year from now, you don't want to look back and say, I knew what I needed to do. I just never did it. You want to say, I tried, I moved, I failed, I learned, I improved, and I kept going. Your plan does not have to be perfect. Your confidence does not have to be perfect. Your circumstances do not have to be perfect. You just have to begin. Because success doesn't come from knowing everything before you start. It comes from taking action, receiving feedback, learning, adjusting, and moving again. Think, plan, act, learn, repeat. Remember this, you will either earn or you will learn. But if you never act, you get neither. So stop waiting for the perfect time. The time is now. Take the step. Do the work. Just start.